for coming on out to the Ruth Wicker tribute. We're going to go ahead and get started with the program so that we can get these ribbons open and you all can engage in a wonderful exhibit here at Barber Park Event Center. So with that, I'm going to welcome Madam Mayor Nancy Vaughn to bring welcome and vision from the city. Madam Mayor.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. What a great afternoon it is today to be able to recognize women in our community that have really blazed a trail for many, many years. It's so important that we recognize the accomplishments of the people right within our community. And I am so pleased to be here and to be in a one-of-a-kind space, the only one in North Carolina. I do want to recognize my fellow city council members, some which you will hear from, Mary Kay Abuzawader, Tammy Thurm, Sharon Hightower, and of course Dr. Goldie Wells, who you will see later on in the program, and Councilwoman Nancy Hoffman. Mayor Pro Tem Yvonne Johnson asked me to extend her regrets that she was unable to be here today. But we are all thrilled to be here and to be able to share in what will be just a fun afternoon, to be able to enjoy each other and to remember people for generations to come right here in this wonderful building. It is my privilege to welcome you to the Ruth Wicker Center. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We will now have a few words on the history of the tribute to women from Assistant City Manager Nasha McCray.
Thank you, and good afternoon. My name is Nasha McCray, and on behalf of the City of Greensboro and our City Manager's Office, I want to welcome and thank everyone for being here today to celebrate the induction of our newest class of honorees into the Ruth Wicker Tribute to Women here at Barber Park Event Center. The concept for the Tribute to Women began in 2009, and the exhibit, even though it officially opened in 2019, it has continued to serve as the first standalone exhibit in the state, and one of only a handful of similar exhibits in the country that exclusively honors the contributions and achievements of women. And this was made possible through a combination of public funds and a donation from the estate of Mrs. Ruth Wicker. And it educates and inspires through an innovative and interactive exhibit, which is behind me, dedicated to women whose contributions have impacted Greensboro and beyond. The generosity of Ruth Wicker, her love of serving the community, and the 8 unique characteristics that she possessed, not only served as the inspiration for the vision of this beautiful space, but it also embodies the qualities and the characteristics that are so fitting of our honorees that we're celebrating today. And so through Ruth's generosity, her dedication to community service and education, we're able to share and preserve the stories of countless other women who have courageously sacrificed and impacted our community in countless ways. We did that in 2019 when we honored the inaugural class of 31 individuals and 4 organizations, and now we do that with you. By ensuring that the stories of honor, duty, and sacrifice that they live on in perpetuity, future generations of girls like my daughter and women like me are able to see clear pathways, leadership examples, and boundless possibilities. So personally, though, being a part of this program is a full circle moment for me, because when I started my career with the city almost 15 years ago, I was in Parks and Recreation. This actual facility and this exhibit space was one of the very first projects that I had an opportunity to work on. So from the concept design, from engaging with the community to get ideas on what this should look like, the process for how we honor and memorialize women who've made contributions, I had an opportunity to be a part of that. But I also did that project along with one of my male colleagues in Parks and Rec, who I won't name his name. He's not here right now, but I won't say his name. But we often joke is that he started the project, but it took a woman to finish it. But the other moment for me, I stood in this very space in 2019 as the director of that department, so having moved up in leadership, when we cut the ribbon to unveil it to the community and to celebrate the initial class of honorees, and so still being in this space today to bring greetings to you and tell the story is very personal and it's very meaningful for me. And so learning about the stories of the women back in 2019 and learning about your stories, the ways that you have inspired the community, it is really heartwarming for me as a sister, a daughter, a professional, and as a mom. And so, and we know in 2019, it's been almost 5 years, the world was very different then than it is now. But particularly when the liberties and the freedoms and the rights that we as women have, and them being under attack, we must continue to honor those who blazed the path before us and ensure that the light never dulls and that we continue the work that they started. So with that being said, I want to personally say thank you for your contributions. Thank you for being an inspiration to all of us, for the legacy that you've created here in Greensboro and beyond. And may your courage, your unwavering strength, and your sacrifices continue to shine like the sun and guide and inspire us all. Congratulations.
Thank you, Assistant Manager McCray. We will now hear from our commissions coordinator from the Human Rights Department, my teammate, my partner in crime, Liz Lennon, along with our former CSW chair, Camille Best Brown, as they introduce the wonderful names of the women who we will forever hold tribute to here today. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Yes, as mentioned, my name is Liz, and I'm the Commissions Administrator for the Human Rights Department, and I'm so honored to be here on today. And this has been a year-long journey for myself. I had the privilege, of course, with Paula, really diving into this exhibition and this tribute, I should say, and just really researching some of the women as we have here today and some of the things that you have done. So once again, I'm so honored to be here. And as you have heard earlier about what Ruth Wicker stood for, we are going to, as of now, share with you those 8 categories and the women that fall in them, okay? So at this time, what we will do is once your name is called, I'm taking that you're going to stand, receive your certificate, and we will go from there, okay? So the first category is Imagines, and that is Robin Davis. Robin Davis. And you can continue to stand. Okay. Next is Rosella Jarrell. And I do not think, I'm not for sure if she has family here today. So I'm going to ask if Dr. Love, can you stand in the place of just hand those, or I'm sorry, Paula. She has it, for those who are. Okay. Let's give her a hand up. Next category is organizers. I'm sorry, the next category is organizers, and that is Bertha Cohn, and I'm pretty sure we have a representative here today for Bertha Cohn. A family member? Bertha Cohn. I think this is Tom Cohn. Thank you. And next, we have Erica Hendricks. Our next category is Creates, and that is Joanne Bleedenthal. Thank you for helping. Thank you so much. And that is actually the only person that was in that category. But the next is Leads, and that is Judge Teresa Benson. And next we have Miss Ruth Revels. And I do not think that there is a representative for her today, so Paula is going to accept in her honor on her behalf. Okay, our next is Perseveres, and that is Laura Cohn. Our next person in this category is Leah Tannenbaum. We have a representative or a family member here for Leah Tannenbaum.
Yes.
Yes, I think we have several. But we're gonna have Thank you.
It's getting kind of full over here.
And actually, okay. And our next category is empowers, and that will be our very own Councilwoman Goldie Willis. Next in this category is Mary Griffin, and I think we have a representative for Mary Griffin. And next category, we have shares, and that is Angeline Smith. And I do not think we have a member here to represent, so Paula will accept on her behalf. Next in that category, we have Maisie Ferguson. We have a family member. Maisie Ferguson and her several sorors here today from the Zetas. And our last category is inspires. And that would be Martha Sebastian. And I do not think that there's a representative for her today, so Paula will accept on our behalf. And last but not least, they came in mighty and strong, and that is Gladys Shipman from Shipman Family. Those are the, and actually, we're gonna get you to line up to take a picture, and I did not, you wanna come across, I'm sorry. And I did not go into detail because I did not want to take away from the experience of the exhibition that will give you in detail what they did, their life, and their story. But these are the 8 categories, and if you could at one last time give them a hand. That's it. And if I can ask the mayor and members of council to come up so that you can take this picture as well. Thank you so much. You may be seated.
A little bit of housekeeping. We do have bags for you to take it home safely. We just wanted you all to be able to see them first. So please help yourself as you're ready. With what Liz said, you'll notice we did not do a whole litany in their bio because we want you to interact with the exhibit and we want you to be as surprised as we were of the amazing stories of people who have given through philanthropy, their time, their service. And so at this point in time, we want to honor those who are no longer with us. And so Councilwoman Hightower will join us for a reading of those and a moment of silence. Councilwoman Hightower.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
First of all, let me welcome you to District 1. I am the city council person for District 1. Okay? And so this gorgeous facility sits in East Greensboro in District 1. So don't let this be your last time coming here. Stop by the desk and plan you some parties and birthday events and some weddings. We do all of those awesome things here in this facility, and we're proud that it sits here. It's one of the first kind that the city's ever done. If you notice, we have rec centers, but we don't have an event center space. So this is truly an inaugural space that has done an inaugural tribute to women. So a woman designed this building. Just so you know, women are truly making a difference. I guess my role is to remember those that are no longer with us, but I also want to say that in the tribute itself, there are lots of women who are no longer with us because we've remembered those that have done things as early as the 20s and before. And so we certainly want to honor them as well. We most recently lost one of our honorees in Commissioner Carolyn Coleman. She is in this exhibit. And so we have lost her as well. And so there are some names that I want us to remember this afternoon that we have also sadly lost. And so I will share them with you now. First being Angeline Smith, Bertha Cone, Gladys Shipman, Joanne Blumenthal, Laura Cone, Leah Tannenbaum. We have Martha Sebastian, Mary Griffin, Maisie Ferguson, Roselle Jarrell, and Ruth Revels. So if we will at this time, just take a moment of silence for us to remember them, and their spirit still lives on even though they physically are no longer here with us, but that they have certainly left a legacy that we won't ever forget, and we will always be able to come here and see it and talk about it and remember and interact. And perhaps one day there's somebody out here in the audience that will also be one of our women of tribute. So maybe bow our heads for a moment of silence. Thank you so very much. Again, I'm so proud of the new inductees into this beautiful space. So congratulations to you, but also congratulations to the families, because your loved ones will also always be remembered as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Councilwoman Hightower. I think that we always want to make sure that we center those that have given throughout the duration of their life, as well as honor those that keep pushing forward for something better and more equal and more equitable. With that, we will now hear words of intent from Councilwoman Mary Kay Abuda-Swader.
Thank you so much. But first I want to give credit of anyone who has been on the committee for selecting the women, if they could raise their hands, please. There are quite a few many of you in the room, I know, and that committee worked so hard going through each and every category and each and every person. And it was just phenomenal to see how well everyone worked together and did all the points correctly, things like that. So, you know, they deserve a round of applause because they worked hard. And also, very quickly, I want to thank, of course, Parks and Rec and everyone involved there. I know Nasha started out with it, and there's an unnamed male person who also, I think most of us know who that is. And then I do also want to commend Shauna Tillery as well, because she was very early on this. I'm the liaison for the Commission on the Status of Women, and I remember this started way back when, 2017, 18, the talks and, you know, everything like that. So it was just phenomenal to see this grow and turn into what it is today. So there, I'm to give words of intent. And I was driving here wondering, well, it's not quite a call to action, but what is a word of intent? And I immediately came to mind, you know, the phrase all intents and purposes? Well, every single one of these women intended to do something, whether for their community, their family, the people who needed them, people who were needing extra help. Every single one of the women who has gone before us, who have been in the group before this group, had an intent in their mind to do something. They were faced with a challenge. They were faced with an issue. They were faced with something that had never been done before. And they took that challenge and they intended to finish it. And that's where they found their purpose. So each of the women, they may not even realize that many of them passed, well, long time ago. But their purpose is their legacy. They had a purpose, and they followed that purpose, and they made it come to fruition. So that purpose, each one of these women, no matter which category it is leaving a legacy. And the legacy is for the rest of us women to continue on those paths that we are intending to work on with a purpose. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Abuda-Swader. We will now hear from the Director of Human Rights, Dr. Love Jones, in a word of closing. A couple of more housekeeping pieces. We will take the ribbons and the stanchions down, and the exhibit will be open. We also have the quilt show of our community quilters, and we will have the food reception piece open as well. Thank you very much, Dr. Jones.
Good afternoon. Thank you again for being here for such a momentous occasion. My name is Dr. Love Jones. I am the Director of the Human Rights Department. This effort is a collaboration between the Human Rights Department and Parks and Recreation. And I have to say that I believe it to be one of the finer collaborations because of the fact that it lifts up members of the community who have done so much diligent work that has left a footprint endlessly for many, many generations to come. So with that in mind, there are some thank yous that are in order. I'll say them quickly so we can get to what matters most, which is to observe the exhibit. I would first like to say thank you to the honorees. This isn't possible unless people do hard work in the first place. And I think that that's really important. By the time we get to the celebration of a thing, it's because someone has done something worth celebrating. So again, thank you very much to the honorees and the families represented. I would also like to say thank you to our city council that literally when you see what happens in the fabric of a community that uplifts different populations, it is because you have leadership that wholeheartedly supports that. If you don't think so, go into some communities where people don't believe in it, and you'll see that there's a stark difference in what it means to be a part of Greensboro and to be able to uplift various populations, and especially on today, women. So thank you to our city council for supporting this endeavor, even at inception so many years ago. I also want to say thank you to the city manager's office, who equally contributes and supports the work not only of human rights, but every city department, so that celebrations like this can be possible. And as you heard from our assistant city manager, Nasha McCrae, she's had a footprint in this from the beginning. And that means a lot when you get to see something full circle, and it speaks to the heart of our city management representation. I also want to thank the staff that was involved. For everything that you see here today, there is some staff member in a city department that contributed to making this happen. I want to thank my staff with the Human Rights Department, Paula as the coordinator of outreach and education, Liz as the coordinator of commissions. To be a commissions administrator is really hard work because you're listening to volunteer voices in order to make things happen that represent the city. And so thank you so much, Liz, for doing the initial engagement of this group in order to make sure that the committee came together in a solid way. Paula, thank you for all of the collaborative efforts that you have pulled to the table to make this event possible. I want to say a very special thank you to the quilting community that's contributed to the exhibit. It symbolizes the fact that we are the fabric of Greensboro and that the contributions that we make are unique and glorious. And so I really appreciate their due diligence. Paula made the invitation and the rest was history. As you can see, it's a very beautiful display of artistic time and commitment. And then finally, one thing that we're really happy about today is that the refreshments that you're going to enjoy are from women-owned companies. And they took the time to donate these confections and different refreshments. So thank you to Maxie B's for donating all of our sweeter treats. And then thank you to Piece of Me by Lou, which is a space in Revolution Mill that is responsible for the salads that you'll be able to partake in. And so again, thank you to everyone who is here. I hope that you enjoy this event and come back over and over again, because this isn't something you can take in one day. It's something that you return to over and over again. And to Councilwoman Hightower's point, she wants you to come back over and over again. And so again, thank you so much. Please enjoy the rest of the exhibit, and thank you again.